Good, I think, morning, everybody. Welcome to the early watch. It is Monday, March 29th, the 20 of the 18. I'm Jimmy. With us, as always, Mr. Tony York.
Good morning, people.
What? and, and running this thing from South Carolina, Night Strike. What up?
For the record, I don't know these people.
Yeah, we're a bad influence on Night Strike. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I taught him the F word. I regret that one.
It's not.
Never again, Jimmy. How's everybody's weekend out there? Hope everybody had a great
Damn
weekend.
it was Wednesday.
Whatever the fuck, I don't care. You know how me and days when we don't get along too good.
Jimmy no
I'm
tell
just-
time much.
Yeah, no day.
Jimmy can tell him, time him.
Yeah.
My day was all right. I mean, it rained, so I didn't go to the range. And then I went to the doctor, and he gave me more drugs. And then
Oh,
I
really?
got on
Yeah.
Facebook last night and got into the longest protracted Facebook dispute I've ever been involved with.
Oh goodness. About?
Friends, guns.
No. I figured it was about guns, but I mean, like, regarding.
Well, it's a couple of people that I've been friends with for years from Australia who think that their
Oh,
style of
crikey.
gun control is a perfect fit for American. That ain't what it is. And I should say former friends now because I've been unfriended by them. And I'm like, I've known this one girl since she was 15 years old, so it's been like 17 fucking years.
Damn.
And
And they just flipped on you. Like this shit caused them to flip. Now were they now my question is though, now check it out though. My question is this because of what's going on in this time, this era, time, day and age, whatever the fuck you want to call it, or have they always been slightly anti-gun or whatever, you know?
they've been anti, yeah. It's
Oh.
that because I own guns, I don't care about students getting killed.
Oh my God! One of them now? That sucks, dude. I'm sorry you lost a buddy or somebody.
And my niece comes on this morning with a post saying that, basically the Second Amendment says that you have to be trained and competent to own a gun. And I'm like,
Oh
that
no.
is not what it says. So spent an hour this morning explaining to her how it's supposed to freaking work. And she's like, so you think anybody should own a gun? I said, no, I do not. There's people out there that should not have guns, period. Her dad is one of them. But, who the fuck makes that decision? Your anti-gun doctor? Your anti-gun politicians?
Well, yeah, exactly. And even us as a citizen, I mean, who are we to choose for somebody else? You know?
Right. That's the whole damn point. And I'm like, sweetie, you claim to be a libertarian, but you come out with this. I mean,
Yeah, it sounds more liberal.
completely flies in the face of what libertarianism is.
Yes. Do what you want, except
Arming teachers is just absolutely out of the fucking line completely. And I'm like, I don't advocate arming teachers in the respect of like making teachers carry guns. I do advocate the ability of a teacher to get their concealed carry permit or whatever the hell they have to do to be legally able to carry a gun in their state and have that right to do so in school to protect themselves. Hopefully, when they protect themselves, they're protecting their students at the same time. I don't even add so they can protect the students to the argument because it's not their freaking responsibility, really. But if they protect themselves, and I don't mean by shooting students with legs, run faster. You know, by the basic umbrella effect, they protect the students. Believe me, I've known many teachers I would not want to have a gun. Were y'all asleep today?
Probably Jimmy.
I'm the one here that's fucked up.
Well, Jimmy is as Jimmy does, I guess. I don't know. I blame Jimmy regardless. Just saying.
My bad. I didn't even know I was muted. So yeah, I don't know. It's just that the thing that I take away from a lot of it is that they're just people aren't using their regular brain. I don't know.
Well,
I really, that's the only way that I could describe it. They're seeing what the rhetoric that they hear and they're using that. You know what I mean?
Well, the Australian people's, two Australians that I was discussing with, their viewpoint or their idea of guns over here is that you can go anywhere and get one. And I'm like,
see,
yeah,
and I'm surprised. I'm
but
surprised, honestly, at Australia because I figured that they would have seen that crime has still gone up and that there's still gun violence out there. I mean, violence also, but there's also still gun violence, and they banned all the damn guns.
I'm like, look, let me explain what I had to go through just to be able to have guns. So, one, I had to get a FOID card, which is a background check and 6 weeks worth of waiting. Two, once I have this FOID card, now I have to go to the place where I want to purchase a gun. I have to fill out a government form. They have to get it fucking approved. Then I have to wait 1 to 3 days to get said gun. And this is every fucking time I want to buy a gun. I have to do the form and wait 3 days. They call it a cooling off period, but if that's the case, why in the hell would you have to do it if you already own a fucking gun? You know, I own a lot of guns. I am what would be considered a super gun owner at this moment. So, yes, I own more than 17. But I still have to go and do the 3-day cooling off period for each handgun I want to buy. For fucking Uberti replica cowboy action gun, 3-day waiting period.
Maybe they think you used your last 6-shooter and you threw it in the sewer somewhere, so they're making you cool off for the next one. Because nobody could possibly want to own more than one gun at a time. That's just ridiculous.
I cannot
needs
believe that I ain't on the radar for the FBI because I have several times bought 5 guns at once. According to the paperwork, this last time I bought 6 at one time. Now I haven't picked up the last one of the bunch, but
well, the ignorant. One of the worst arguments I heard too is that and this kind of goes along with having multiple guns, sort of, but it was hunters should just have hunting guns, and they fail to realize that in a lot of states, I wouldn't even say not a majority, but there is a handful of states where people can go hunting with their AR and have. And
according to what I have found out here, you can hunt deer with an AR.
There you go. Damn it,
you
dog.
Have to put a Glock magazine in it, so it's single shot.
Oh, okay.
And it has to be 30 caliber, so 300 blackout.
Or you could use those. Oh no, you couldn't use the 7.62 because it's got to be straight walled, huh?
Straight wall cartridge, yes.
Yeah, okay. See,
But,
so I'm just saying, like they're
technically,
saying hunters should be able to keep their hunting guns. Like, okay, well then shut the fuck up now. Be done. You
I
know,
can't-
be done with your argument.
I can't swear that deal with the AR is true because it's. I talked to a guy at a range, and he said he talked to a couple of different conservation officers, and they said it was fine. It's not written into the rules that I can fucking see it. I looked.
I could believe it though. AR platform, 300 blackout falls into your straight wall cartridge fucking rules and all that shit. I don't see why not.
Wait a minute. No, it doesn't either.
Why wouldn't it?
How long is that? The case can't be more than 1.25 inches long.
The case or the entire cartridge?
The case.
I don't think it is. Oh, I don't. Is it? I don't know if it is. Fuck, I'm gonna have to look that up.
44 is damn near 1.25 inches long.
I'm trying to think because it has that big old fucking projectile. The bullet on it is fucking longer too. So I'm trying to think how long the fucking case is off the top of my head, and I can't. Somebody out there knows. Who has internet? Somebody knows. Is a 300 blackout case longer than 1.5 inches?
1.25
So
inches.
1.25 is the cutoff. Okay. 1.25 inches. I have no idea.
44 Magnum, the case is 1.25 inches. So 300 blackouts longer than that. And maybe he's
300 blackout. Isn't it the metric size of it 7.62 by 35?
By 35? I don't know. Maybe.
45.
No,
No,
What's
45.
the 223? What is
Yeah, but they don't use
AR
that.
standard round?
No, I'm not kidding. Blackout is described as 7.62 by 35.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's the okay, hold on a second. Let me think.
I don't think so.
Well,
Hold on. I'm trying to do the math. And I fucking I need paper or something.
right.
Yeah, probably. Because it's the same thing though. You're right. And it's the 223 case, but it doesn't have that fucking shoulder in it. Popped it out and made it straight wall. Or did they cut it off and make it straight wall? If they cut it off and made it straight wall, I think that's under 1.5 inches.
I think they cut it down.
It's 7.62 by 35. Okay, so it's 7.62 by 35. What's that in English, in American?
Well, a 223 case is over 1.75 inches.
But in the side chat, I just linked to it. So.
Oh, I can't.
See that, Jimmy. So hold on. I'll give you.
No worries.
But it is 7.62 by 35. There you go.
Got it. Loud and clear. When my phone receives something, it means it.
It means business.
7.62 by 35, 300 black ammunition in a rifle chambered in 223.556, or 7.62 by 40 millimeter. American. So the bullet, the neck, the case, 1.368 inches. Yep, you're going a little bit over.
Mm-hmm.
Missed it by a hair.
Just by that much.
A bushel of hairs. All right.
Yo, Patriot.
We figured it out.
Well,
Thank you, Sean.
I hope that they. I hope that the guy is right. He doesn't get in any trouble for it. So that means you can't use 460 Smith and Wesson.
Well, there goes my dreams.
Oh, you could put 44 or 45 in then.
Why would I have a 460 and besmirch it by putting a 45 in it?
Because you want to shoot it more than once.
Hey, that's what everybody said about the 454, man. And that was a fucking actually an enjoyable shoot. My nose didn't even bleed or nothing. Speaking of which, where in the fuck is Sean been?
Well, he's out in chat on his phone. So
he's out on chat, but he doesn't.
Oh.
But he doesn't get into the office until like another hour or so.
Oh, okay. I thought it was maybe it was something I said. Travis, yo, yeah, for sure.
That's okay. You don't want to wait.
I mean, yeah, I got news, but yeah, if he's got something to add in, that's cool because I know he usually starts his day off at around pretty soon. So yeah, for sure.
Past crack of dawn, technically.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I do got some news though. Let me see this one. Maybe you might be interested in it too.
Oh.
Maybe. So this one is okay. This was kind of bullshit, and I'm pretty sure that we could kind of, muscle through this pretty quick. Did you hear about the guy? What? Wait. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Did you hear about the San Jose man's arrest for bringing a gun to the March for Our Lives? You did. Did you guys hear about that or no?
No.
Nope.
Okay. A man who brought a loaded handgun to Saturday's March for Our Lives rally in downtown San Jose was whisked out of a crowd of thousands and arrested, authorities have confirmed. Santa Clara County, blah, blah, blah. Then this guy, the news organization learned about the arrest after being alerted by a witness, one of whom photographed the arrest and wondered about the lack of news coverage given the gravity and danger of posed by bringing a gun to a gun control rally. Authorities say investigation swiftly determined that the detained man had no violent plans. A transit patrol deputy with Santa Clara County office made what was described as a skillful apprehension without causing panic. Sergeant Richard Glennanon said the man was participating in the demonstration and reportedly told the authorities he had brought the Glock 45 pistol, which he carried in a fanny pack, to protect himself and the crowd against any violent and armed interlopers. Based on his statements, it seems he was supportive of the demonstration and brought it for his safety. The episode unfolded as the march of roughly 5,000 people walked from City Hall to join more demonstrators assembled in the Arena Green around 10:50 a.m. Private security, blah, 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 blah. After a pat-down, the gun was located in addition to a magazine. No indication whatsoever that the man identified as 54-year-old Michael Tilton of San Jose was planning any violence. Still, Tilton was arrested and booked on 2 felony counts of carrying a loaded firearm in public and having an unregistered firearm. He was later released. It's somewhat ironic that they're having a march about gun control and then someone shows up outside the bounds of the law. So in California, you probably really, it's hard for you to get your CCW, and if you ain't got it, you can't carry shit. So
how the fuck did they know?
Somebody had to have fucking told on him. Or they saw it bulging. He said he's a Glock 45 is not even if he had the Glock 36, that's still about like the size of a Glock 19. So it's not a tiny little gun. So a fanny pack, I don't know. They might have saw a bulge. Like, hey, there's clearly a gun in that guy's fanny pack. Let's go check him out. I don't know. I'm thinking somebody fucking told on him though.
Seems suspect to me.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Guess what, buddy?
Yeah, it's not
If you're
not
convicted,
necessarily saying.
never get to have your Glock ever again.
Well, and I mean, they're making it sound like he wasn't. I don't. It was unregistered, so I don't know what the fuck that means in California. Is that an illegal firearm if it ain't registered?
I don't know. Are you allowed to have Glocks in California?
Used ones, I think, and like up to a certain generation. Well, the deputy asked him if he was armed, and the man reportedly told him no. If you live in a state where you have to fucking tell the cops, I would tell the cops because, you could end up getting arrested. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, what's up, Trav? And
Yeah, no, man, not much. We're on Easter vacation for school, so I got a couple mornings off. I thought I'd join in here, take a break from checking items off the honey-do list I've been doing all morning. So yeah,
sweet.
Yep.
Cool.
Hey, Travis.
Yeah, what's up? How you doing, Tony?
I'm all right. How are you?
Cool. Doing all right, man. Doing all right. I don't want to interrupt your use, man. Go ahead, carry on.
Oh, that was all I had.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well, I was
hoping
going
you
to tell
had
you real quick, you
something.
guys were talking about ARs for hunting in certain states. In Nebraska, you are allowed to hunt with 223 as well. I don't know if you can do 22 250, but you have to have so many foot-pounds of energy at so many hundreds of yards. I mean, I don't ever hunt with a caliber that small, but you can. And you are limited to, I believe, 5+1. You'd have to have a 5-round magazine. But if you go to the Hornady website, they've got pictures that show pictures. There's people that posted pictures of their deer harvest, their hunts that they've shot with that caliber of ammo. So you can do it. I don't know how far out these people were taking their shots, but I think with the right kind of ammo, a 5.56 would be okay. I mean, to me, I'd rather go 300, 7.62 by 39 on up, 30-30, on up.
22 250 is substantially hotter than 223.
Yeah, as long as it's got a certain amount of foot-pounds of energy, I don't know how many it has to be at 200 or 300 yards. You can shoot with it, but it's got to be above a 22 LR. And that might be why they've stated it the way that they did, so people could use 22 250.
Well, for varmints here, we can use whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah, well, my point in that though is that hunters should have their guns, and then stop your argument because they got them already. They got them already. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just, what? I'm glad you jumped on those. I've kind of been curious. So, see, as a teacher, have you noticed a big change in your kids? I mean, obviously, you can only speak for your opinion and your experience.
No, not at all. Even after they had the walkout, for which lasted an hour at our high school, came back in. That day, I had one kid ask me a question, and that was it. Just, do you think this will make any difference? And I said, you want my honest opinion? And they said, yeah. And I said, no, because I said the bigger issue is depression and the number of people that kill themselves in suicide every year. I said, that should be the issue you guys need to be rallying for. I said, you got, 45,000 people that kill themselves every year in the U.S. I said, that's your big issue right there, because that leads to so many other problems. I said, that's what you guys should be getting your support for and your awareness and your shouting out, Because, I mean, look how many of those suicide deaths, when they tie in gun murders or gun deaths, they always have to connect the suicide number to beef up their stats. Oh, yeah. Because that's going to make guns look like it's more of a problem for actual committing crimes with them against other human beings. That was it. No, I have not heard or seen anything at all. I mean, kids have got an incredibly short attention span these days. And I think that, you'll have another cause that will come out. Something big will happen in the media or the news with some other event or superstar or athlete. And then they'll slowly start to, I think you're going to have a group of kids that are going to, they're probably going to be brainwashed into these ideas, and that can affect them later on being anti-firearm. But
Tide will come out with a new colored pod.
Yeah, they don't stick with it. Case in point, during these rallies, how many of these kids were just all into the speakers and they were crying and this and that. And then they would see the camera on them and they'd wave at the camera and smile and get their phone out. I mean, what does that say about their actual concentration on their cause. It's just not there.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
that they can't be advocates, because kids do wonderful things. They can do great things out in the community, raising awareness, but there's that level of maturity and just self-cognition. I think it's just not there for certain things. And I think this is one of those things where they're being fueled and fed by their emotion. That's all it is. Playing off the emotion, using multimedia to get a hold of their attention for 15 minutes and shove an idea in their mind and then move on. I mean, that's basically what's happened to them. They're very easy to motivate to get them to believe a certain thing or see a certain way because they have so little life experience.
Using socialism, the socialist communist mob rule tactic.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, the thing is, they get so much stuff just given to them and handed to them anyway, and that's not their fault. Okay, they're a product of the society that every adult and every grown-up out there has created for them. You're gonna just give them this. Everybody gets a star. Everybody gets a ribbon. Everybody gets, fifth runner-up gets the same prize. And that's the kind of society we created. So to sit there and start saying nobody needs guns, we all need peace, we all need happiness, everybody deserves their equal share of society. They're going to go for that kind of thing because that's what they're acclimated to. Not every kid, but a lot of kids. It's just amazing what they feel like they think they deserve when they really haven't done as much maybe in terms of life as you'd expect them to. So,
well, yeah, exactly. Very, very lack of experience is something that I've noticed a lot too in their argument. Like they just, I don't know.
Yeah.
They
I
say
mean,
things without thinking about the future of what they're saying.
And that's what kids do. They haven't developed their minds. Not every kid's developed to the point that they can think that far ahead or think of both sides of the issue or think their way through something. They're kids. They make mistakes. It's what they do. That's one of their trademarks. That's one of their behaviors. And having the media hook into their emotion because they're they become very emotional very easily by certain things. That unfortunately can be a powerful tool to try to motivate the masses. So it's almost child abuse what's being done to these kids, how they're screwing with their minds and their emotions and forcing ideas on them without letting them to be free thinkers. And here I am saying this as a public high school teacher,
Oh yeah, seriously.
And one thing I will say is I guess maybe kind of depends on your state, your environment, your community. I don't see or hear in my school a lot of liberal ideas being thrown around from the teachers, kids being lied to and things like that. I don't know. I think that might be more of a university thing where kids aren't allowed to express themselves how they want, especially if they're conservative or pro 2A. So I don't know. I just don't really seem to hear. It's easy to pick on us teachers because we're in the classroom the whole day and we're not there to defend ourselves against the masses. But I just don't know. I just don't know if that really exists the way that people think it does.
So let me ask you, as a teacher, what was your take on Common Core?
Oh, I think it's an awful idea. I think it's absolutely horrible. The fact that you want a one-size-fits-all package that you want to push through every school because it's convenient and you can do your testing on it, and I think it's horrible. The fact that, it makes no adjustments and no allowances for ELL students, special education students, kids that can't learn at the same pace as everybody else. Every class is unique. Even in my own classes that I teach, I can't always do everything the exact same way. Because in a few classes, I've got some kids that might be more advanced than others. You don't want to hold anybody back. You want to make sure you tailor the lessons so every kid gets as much out of it as possible. Common Core doesn't allow that. What they're trying to do is they try to market it as a nice all-in-one buffet package that you can buy and consume. And it's done, it's set, it's convenient, it's easy. But it doesn't really recognize the way that kids learn or what kids need in the classroom. And subsequently, our state didn't adopt it. Nebraska was one of the few states that refused to accept it, even though it was starting to become kind of federally, not mandated, but that was kind of the big push at that point. In our state, the state government tends to let the districts take care of their own teaching. We've got testing and accountability and all that stuff, but each district is able to kind of tailor and custom choose what it needs for materials to work best for its population.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah, no, in our district, in our city I live in, our schools are roughly, you can look this up online, probably 60 to 70% Hispanic, 10 to 15% African, and 10 to 15% Anglo, and everybody else, Asian, Pacific Islander, etc., Native American. So we have a lot of kids that come in that need more help with their English and reading and writing than what Common Core has to offer. I mean, it just shoves it out there, assuming that kids already know their ABCs when they get into school, and they don't, unfortunately. Anyway, that's my soapbox.
Back in the day when I was going to school, I knew how to read and write and do math by the time I went into kindergarten.
Oh yeah, I mean, but then again, it also
now, was this before the turn of the century, or?
Well, of course, it was before the turn of the century.
All right.
Christ, that was only 18 years ago.
All right, I got one more question, Trav, just for your opinion as a teacher, and then I'll stop badgering you.
Okay.
No, it's all good. I love answering questions on this because sometimes I'm pigeonholed where people just assume how teachers can respond, and that's not always the case.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, this one isn't really a tough one either. But I'm curious, just your opinion as a teacher. What's the big beef with teachers carrying? Now, from my point of view, I'm looking at it as just another thing that they can nitpick and say, oh no, that'll never work. We need to just outlaw guns. Is there an actual like beef behind that or logic behind it?
One of the big problems that we have right now is our state and our national organizations don't encourage it. In fact, the policies that they're trying to pass for the associations we belong to. Now, you can call them unions. Ours are not, because we're not allowed to strike and walk out. The big push is to not want to see firearms in the classroom. That's been stated, and they're trying to get like an official position or stand passed on the state and the national level that says that they don't believe that firearms have a place in the classroom. You get that kind of media and information pushed out in the monthly magazine that we get, in the emails, in the communications, and I think it just kind of pushes the idea of carrying in the classroom out of the minds of many people. And I don't know, I guess there's always this somewhat stigma or association with teachers being liberal and not being, whatever you want to say, conservative or pro 2A, and that's not always the case. It depends on the person. It depends on the environment that you're in. And I don't know. It's just, and then there's always the first, the thing that always comes up. Well, what if a kid goes for your gun, or what if the teacher freaks out and starts shooting people? Now, granted, there was that guy that had some issues, and I don't know where it was, somewhere down south. Was it Georgia or the Carolinas that he took a gun to school or got himself in trouble, got arrested?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The first thing they say is, what if a kid goes for it? Well, hey, we have an armed police officer in our high school. A group of 20 students could probably do something to him and disarm him, but it doesn't happen because kids don't want to do stupid things like that because they know better. It's just, and also it doesn't help that in our state, we're gun-free zones. So the idea of even having a gun on campus is a complete no-no. It's pushed through as law. So if you've got this environment set up that doesn't even allow the discussion of allowing students to carry, then you're just not going to see it in that particular district or state.
Oh yeah, and I feel like I've been disagreed with a lot with this point, but I don't know, man. I think the kids that are willing to go that far in a school shooting, quote, or whatever, or get, that go for a teacher's gun, that's like one in hundreds of thousands, if not one in a million.
A kid could clobber a teacher with a chair. They could use the laptop. I mean, that's 8 pounds of aluminum and steel. They could use a frickin' cast iron stapler. I mean, there's so many other things that kids could do to cause harm to teachers. I don't think just because they may or may not have a gun on them, those students are going to assault that teacher. I mean, they're not stupid. They know what's going to happen to them if they do something like that. Now, there's going to be irrational kids that'll make bad choices, and they do all the time. But I just think the kids know better, so that's why I don't think it should be such a big deal. If the teacher wants to be trained and wants to carry in the classroom. And the fact that districts already allow it, the fact it's happening right now, and we're not hearing about teachers flipping out every day shooting their students in the news, because as soon as we do, that's going to be the headlines. And there are districts that have had teachers carrying, public schools that have had teachers carrying for a decade now, So why we can't even entertain the idea or even look into it? Nebraska tried to pass it back in 2014 after Sandy Hook, or 2015, and it completely got shot down by representatives. So I don't know. Did I answer your question?
Well, no, I mean, you did though, kind of. I mean, but their big problem with it is pretty much kind of a fear, an illogical fear of it.
And I would just say,
Unreasonable
meet
fear.
it with logic, because there are districts that allow it and it's not a problem. I'm sure there's even more private schools that allow their teachers to conceal carry because they don't necessarily have to abide by certain laws, and they can get their own districts to pass whatever rules they want. So, I guess it also depends on the state if they don't have declared gun-free zones, or they do. But yeah.
The ideal thing is that nobody knows who's carrying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every teacher could be.
Yeah, that's just it. And, the worst thing for me is I remember last year we did one of our little lockout drills, and we went, hid in the corner and turned the lights off, locked the doors like we're supposed to, and then law enforcement comes in and clears the room. We got back into the classroom, and one of the kids said, "So if this is real, how are you going to protect us?" And I said, "That's a good question." And so, we had a discussion on things we could possibly do or use in the classroom, because the kids are curious. If something happens, what are we supposed to do? And I feel awful not having an answer for them. Well, we'll just stand here and hope to God the person doesn't come in before the cops get here. That's what I wanted to say, but I didn't want to scare anybody. So I said, well, there are things we could do to barricade the door. There's things we could do to keep the person out. So anyway.
And kind of going along with that too, I don't know how many parents I've seen saying that I'm tired of my children doing lockdown drills and active shooter drills, and so pretty much they're tired of seeing their kids getting prepared for possible situations that may happen in life outside of school, after school.
They don't want to prepare their children.
Well, we're not doing them weekly. I mean, we do them, maybe a couple times, maybe a couple times a semester, just to make sure every kid gets it at least once. I mean, they're going to be directed by the
fire.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was saying maybe as often as a fire drill or something like that. Probably,
yeah.
Right?
I mean, we do those. Well, we do those once a month, and I mean, we have our tornado drills that we have to do also because of weather. Right. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm tired of my kid doing tornado drills. Ban harp.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
God,
that's not gonna work.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's it's a tough time, especially for teachers. I mean, I would imagine, especially for pro Second Amendment teachers, pro Constitution teachers. So yeah.
And again, it just kind of depends on the environment. We have several veterans in my high school, and we've had our discussion at our last parent teacher conferences. We'd all be willing to carry if the district would let us. If they want us to do training, fine. If they want us to carry, we'd be happy to do whatever hoops they want us to jump through to prove that we're responsible with our firearms. Even though many of us have concealed carry permits and carry regularly outside, and out in the community and in stores and restaurants and things like that. If we need to prove some kind of, I mean, and I get it, they want special training, close quarters and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I would imagine in Nebraska too, they're pretty fairly gun friendly. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah, sorta. We had the whole bump stock thing that fell through, but that you can't let Lincoln and Omaha represent the rest of the state. Yes, they have the majority of the population and they have the biggest influence, but not all of Nebraska is whatever you want to call it, leftist, liberal, granola eating, frisbee toting hippies or anything like that. That's not really the environment. I've always said it like this before. Nebraska and their gun laws, it's like having parents that let you have fun as a kid, but they don't let you have too much fun. We allow concealed carry. We don't have constitutional carry. We allow open carry, but only in certain places. If you want to buy a pistol, you have to buy a handgun purchase certificate, whatever you want to call it. There's just a lot of things we don't allow. We allow hunting. We always promote the whole hunting thing. But what they did the other day is the city of Lincoln, our capital city, just passed a bump stock ban just out of nowhere. It was a 6-0 vote, and they passed it. And it's going to be kicking in, I believe, May 1st.
Damn.
And what sucks about this, they haven't mentioned anything at all. What are you supposed to do if you're traveling through that city on the interstate? Or is FOPA going to cover if you have a bump stock? What if I don't live in Lincoln, but I've got a bump stock on my AR? Am I allowed to go, even though I'm not a Lincoln resident? There was no provision given whatsoever to what they're going to do. They are going to have a gun buyback day though before May 1st. So I am tempted to take my Jimenez JA-22, trade it in for a $200 gift card. I might do that. And then go buy ammo with the money.
They don't have local preemption and all that out there. Or maybe they have a case for a suit or something. I don't know.
Man, I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking, because all these states. Because I was looking into Colorado. I was looking into a couple of states, and some of them that are doing like the city is doing certain bans, but the rest of the state isn't. They have those preemptions, and I don't see how come they don't try to take those to some type of a court.
I mean, the first person that gets pulled over and ticketed and that gets, arrested for having the bump stock, because there's different levels of punishment they're assigning to getting caught with one. The first time that happens to a non-Lincoln resident, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I would imagine if you're just driving through and you get pulled over, they would have to allow you to pass through because of safe travel laws or rules. As long as you're following their rules for your concealed carry weapon or your firearm in the car. Yeah.
Well, that's funny that you bring that up too, is because I've been saying for a while now that we're going to need some type of a civil rights case or something like that, and maybe get like a break, a little 10-year break or something like that. They got their assault weapons ban. Let's get our assault weapons bring back 10 years.
Yeah. I think Sean Parker was talking about that the other day too. Drive for 5 years and see what happens,
Yeah.
Yep.
The assault weapons ban, we did it for 10.
Yeah, there we go. We want our 10 now. Hashtag I want my 10 back.
my last 10 years.
Hashtag give me 10. There you go. Hashtag. I'm going to start making videos on that now. Hashtag give me 10. Just give me 10 years. 10 years to show you I can be a responsible gun owner, and I will show you a safe, polite society.
Yeah.
And I am not a criminal.
I don't know. A lot of people think in 10 years we'll be asking the UN for permission to do stuff.
That's the way they want it now.
Shit.
Yeah, no shit now.
Except paint them helmets
goodness.
brighter blue.
Why should the founder of the UN have to ask the UN to be able to do shit? It doesn't make any sense.
Bylaws.
Yeah, bylaws, committees and such.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Anything interesting going on? No, but yeah, about that whole about you guys or that city getting the bump stocks. I think every state, man, has had some, at least a city or representative or someone fold in some kind of way. So we'll see.
Well, and the funny
Even
part is
out
there were
here.
even council members that voted in favor of the ban that said, well, we actually have a bigger problem that we need to address. There is the mental health issue and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, the real big issue is this and this and criminals getting guns illegally. But this is a good first step in the right direction. I'm like, for what?
Yeah,
Oh, geez.
seriously.
I'm like, how many crimes have been committed in Nebraska bump stocks? 0. Okay. What they should be doing again is addressing the mental health issue, the number of depressed individuals that need help that are afraid to go get help because of what repercussions it can have, taking better care of our veterans. I mean, there's other issues out there that the money and the effort should be going into,
Yeah. All right, here. I got a couple of things. I don't know if we necessarily need to go over the articles. Maybe this could just be an opinion-based couple of topics here. The quote, woke NBA coach, Greg Popovich. I'm not sure if he's anti-gun or pro-gun. I would assume anti, but he's calling Trump a coward for missing the March for Your Life rally before Sunday's game between San Antonio and the Bucks. The politically outspoken Spurs coach provided his opinion on Saturday's march. If you sit for a moment and imagine those bullets going through those bodies, he's anti, and what those bodies look like afterwards, how can the president of the country talk about the things he's going to do and then go have lunch with NRA and change it? Blah, 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 bullshit. Anyway, the title of the article or the headline was NBA coach calls Trump coward for missing gun control march. What do you guys think about that in the pro 2A sense also, not just the anti 2A?
You want to know what we think about this? This is what I think about it. You see this?
Picture.
This is
No,
what
I'm
I
not.
think about it.
Can you describe it to me? Hold on.
Puppet on a guy's lap.
Show it again.
They are
How
here.
dare you question a child's heartfelt word? Oh,
This is what I think about it. You see how that child looks like a dummy? Well, hey,
Yeah,
guess
that
what?
is-
The shoe fits.
I take offense to that picture because it is very ill representative of David Hogg. That fucking kid does not wear a tie.
Well,
yeah, I know, but still.
And I think donkeys everywhere should take offense to it because that looks like an uncomfortable sitting position to put an animal
Yeah,
in. So.
yeah.
This is how I feel about it.
Hashtag Jackass Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, donkeys lives matter.
All right.
Sorry.
They do.
Yeah.
all right, I'll toss one out there for opinion.
Go ahead.
This is one that I seen pop up this morning on MSN somewhere. It says the headline: "Student stockpiled arsenal threatened school shooting. Police say." Scroll down to the article. It says, when police searches home of a host family, they found ammunition, a ballistic vest, and a high-powered crossbow with arrows and a container used to load clips, all of which he could have purchased online. Police say he also asked a fellow student how to buy a gun.
Yeah, he was a
But
Taiwanese
crossbow's
exchange student.
arsenal. One fucking crossbow is an arsenal. What the hell is this bullshit?
Well, and then they also used the word, what did we say last night? A trove of ammunition, which we talked about this last night on Matt's podcast. If you look up the word trove in the dictionary, it means a delightful quantity or an enchanting quantity. I'm like, well, are you giving the kid a compliment? Or are you giving him a heads up saying, hey, that's a nice trove you got, like a treasure trove? If you look at the origin
Yeah,
of the
treasure
word,
trove. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
trove. And yeah,
Dude,
Yeah,
then I
Well,
don't
my
have to
thing
prove-
is,
we have a trove of thumbs up on this chat. Yes.
what kind of tickled me and made me giggle a little bit was they were like this one guy who was with last week. He had an armory and so much ammunition, like an insurmountable amount of ammunition. The guy had like 267 rounds and 4 guns, and it was like, yeah,
Dude.
he had
This kid had a freaking arsenal of a crossbow.
yeah. No, I know.
No guns.
Yeah, definitely.
Did he have
A
a
high-powered
high-capacity
crossbow.
quiver? Do you have a high-capacity quiver?
Evidently.
Do you have a plethora of arrows? Yeah.
I'm curious. I would really like to ask the person that wrote that article, like how many
Jimmy, let's
pounds
do it
of
right
a
now.
draw? Yeah, how many pounds of draw weight? Does that make it high powered?
Are we talking like dropping elephant power here, or just varmint, or are we talking bunny? We talking elk?
How many sheets of drywall can that bolt
Yeah,
go through?
Is it fully semi-automatic? That's the question I have.
Oh yeah. Is it one of those repeaters? Because if that's
Yeah.
the case, we're in trouble.
I wonder how many arrows you put in the clip.
Crossbow.
How many arrows you put in the clip?
Yeah.
It's a good
Is,
ghost crossbow.
is
Well, yeah.
is it an assault style crossbow?
Well, it has a clip, so it may be. It may be. I
No,
like
no,
how
it
they
doesn't
just
have
tossed
it
that
doesn't
in
have
there.
selectable fire, so it can't be assault by definition. But
They didn't say
Well,
the
I
thing
said
that clips
style.
onto the side. The thing that clips onto the side that holds the extra bolts. They just said the clip. Like, I like
well,
that.
what's really dangerous is it doesn't have a flash hider, so that really, yeah. I mean, it does have a fixed stock, so maybe it's California compliant, but
Hopefully, it doesn't have a pistol grip, because then that would make it an assault one, wouldn't it?
two-stage.
I don't know
casting trigger.
why the kid needed an arsenal of these weapons of war. I tell you.
Well, did he tell people? Did he possibly threaten anywhere, shape, or form that he was going to do something at school? Did he say something?
Yes. he
Okay,
did.
so if he did, then that's why it threw up a flag. But I'm sure there's other kids that have been busted, since the events happened down in Florida for making threats that have also had a stash of weapons or a trove of, guns they bought off the street in their home that we're not hearing about on the news. I guess part of the fact that he was an exchange student maybe would draw people's attention to make the headlines. I don't know. And then they also talk about his tactical style ski mask was another thing that popped up.
It just struck me that the crossbow was the arsenal. What the hell are they trying to get banned here? Anything that shoots a pointy stick?
Yeah.
They're trying to get pointy sticks. That's the whole point. Like that. I don't know. That's kind of scary.
I mean, but that's just kind of a little foreshadow of what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And even one of the kids even said it, man, on the March for Our Lives thing. It's recorded in history. You give us an inch, and we will take a mile. It's
Yeah, there you go.
It's in there. One of our biggest fears confirmed by
Give a
the
couple
other
inches on the
side.
belt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, come on now. So get this. This is kind of an oxymoron here, ain't it? I don't know. I'm not that well educated, but unalienable rights trump the Bill of Rights. Aren't the Bill of Rights a list of unalienable rights? Inalienable rights? I don't know.
The Constitution does not specifically grant rights. It protects you from the government taking those said rights that are inalienable.
Well, see, my understanding was the Constitution just confirms our unalienable rights. Isn't
Well,
that?
it does,
am I-
but it
yeah.
protects you from the government encroaching upon said same.
Well, yeah. Thus, confirmation. It's confirmation that no one can fuck with it, even though they have.
No, it's not confirmation that no one can. It's confirmation that the government can't.
Okay.
It doesn't apply
I
to
got you.
private. They can just they can ignore your rights all they like.
Well, yeah. Private businesses. Yeah, you're right. You are right about that. So gun control should no longer be a debate. I agree with that. I don't agree with this. It should be a cry of the people who demand more regulations for the virtually unregulated gun market.
What a
this is
fucking
ridiculous.
moron!
Oh my God.
This-
Really? Really?
Did I say what this was? This was the Gonzaga Bulletin. Gonzaga Bulletin wrote this gem.
I wish
Um,
just once that they would.
So it's a
pass
college
these
kid?
schools These kids are growing up in a copy of the 4473 and say this is what they request from you when you buy a gun, and if you answer, if you lie on your answers, you could be in prison for up to 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, you got little teeny boppers up there talking about how we can all go walk in and get $130 AR.
Yeah, and they're not even aware too. I mean, not even that. Just even if somebody goes in there and does a straw purchase, if they end up getting caught, they can get charged. I don't know if it's the same thing, 10 years, but I know it's that probably.
Yeah.
Probably the same thing. So, let's see here. It's not an issue of whether or not guns are taken away. It is an issue of Okay, yeah, never mind. We just explained that. It is an issue of requiring background checks, among other things, because mass murders with guns are mainly committed with legally bought guns. Look at Vegas or Marjorie Stoneman or Pulse nightclub.
And people got background checks when they got those guns.
Yeah, and passed. The issue that is being debated is not whether our rights are being violated by regulating the gun market more. The issue is a conflict between an individual's unalienable right and one's Second Amendment right.
Inalienable, god damn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just reading the words here.
Yeah, well, the words
I'll-
are fucking wrong.
I'll edit. I just want to fucking.
Infringed.
I'll edit as I go. But yeah, so I would argue at that end, inalienable rights and one's Second Amendment right are one and the same.
Yeah.
Inalienable rights, unalienable again, are a reason behind. I think they're going to say "un" the whole time. I think they probably, I don't know. Anyway, are reasons behind the founding fathers' choice of you're writing words wrong. Inalienable rights are the reason behind the founding fathers' choice to secede from England. The Declaration of Independence states, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, not the government, the governed, which is the people. With the Declaration of Independence, the Founding Fathers recognized that the people's inalienable rights were threatened, so it was time for a change. This is still true. When inalienable rights are threatened, it's time for a change. Yeah, like people calling for our fucking inalienable rights to be taken away, or over fucking taxation, or everything that we're dealing with today as a modern citizenry. You're right. One's right to life far trumps one's right to own a gun. Once again, I would say that those are one and the same.
Yes,
they
are.
You know,
Right
the one thing.
One's life.
Yeah, not even. I mean, even if you want to just, even if you're not planning on defending yourself or anything like that, and you just want to take your gun out to the goddamn range and have a good old time with the family, that to me, that's a good enough excuse to own 100 guns. You want it. That's a good enough excuse. You know what I mean? That's, I don't know. I feel we don't even need an excuse. Why do I need an excuse? Why do I need a reason?
Well, the Constitution doesn't specify a need at all.
Exactly. Exactamundo. The one thing people will always need is their inalienable rights. The constitutional amendments are just extras. They're just the constitutional. These are just sprinkles on your fucking donut. They're just extras. I can't even get past this sentence. That can change as needed because they were put there as seen fit. The right to own guns was meant as a right to protect oneself, particularly against a corrupt government that is being abused. These fucking guys, they hate Trump, they hate the cops. The next week they want to give Trumps and the cops the guns and control them. They hate the fucking founding fathers. They're old, they're antiquated, they're slave owners, and now they're like, the founding fathers didn't mean that. They wanted us to have a polite, peaceful society with no guns.
No, they wanted us to have a society that wouldn't be subservient to anyone else.
Well, my point is that these fuckers can't make up their mind on who to hate and whose word to take. It's just ridiculous.
They wanted a society who could defeat our fucking military if we have to.
Exactly. And I don't know how many times I've heard that these are antiquated laws for modern times or something like that. It was musket versus musket back then. Well, then you know what, motherfucker? It should be that we should have access to, what weapons they have access to.
I want to F-35
muskets. Then your opinion should only be coming to me via a piece of paper written in an ink quill pen.
Carrier
to me by a guy on a fucking horse. If that is what you mean.
We love it when Night Strike's blood pressure goes up.
Got a point, man. He's got a point.
No, yeah, he's 100% right. Yeah, for sure.
And only then can we explain why you're fucking wrong.
Let
seriously.
me toss this out there for the anti. And do you really think that a gun ban is even fucking possible? Considering the fact that there are approximately, and there's no real good guesstimate because for a long time they never kept track of guns, 25 million guns in this country. Where the fuck do you think they're going to go? You think we're going to turn them in?
No.
Keep fucking dreaming, pal.
Well, that's what I'm saying, too, is that they want to end gun violence by possible sanctioned gun violence, right? Pretty much. I mean, who's going to come and collect the guns that don't get turned in? And what are they going to do when they go to said every single door that has a 4473 ever in the history of 4473s, and they don't give up their shit? What's going to happen then? Are they just going to be like, okay, thank you, ma'am and sir, we'll have a nice day? They're gonna bust in there and with guns and take their shit. And of course, I'm getting hypothetical, and this may or may not ever happen. So, I mean, but I'm just saying, if their plan fails and people don't give up their guns after, the whole entire ban or whatever, then what do they think is going to happen?
Well, we're their enemies, so we deserve to be killed as gun owners.
Yeah, I guess. But I just think I also think that's fucking. It's very, very hypocritical. Want to end gun violence by one more really big round of gun violence, and then we won't have gun violence anymore. Right?
Yeah, that'll fix it.
Yeah.
Well,
Then all the unarmed people have to deal with the bad guys that'll be getting their guns however and whatever they want, and that won't fix it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, see how they're using the kids right now, right? You guys are witnessing the road to law-abiding gun owners becoming terrorists and criminals. Slowly it's happening. So be prepared.
I see that there's going to be a rally, state capitol rally again in roughly 16 days on the 14th of April, which I will not be attending.
14th of April. Yeah, you're going to be recovering at that point, ain't you?
No. I'll be recovering from vacation still, probably.
Oh, so you're not going in right away after?
I go with the 19th.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So on the 14th, that'd be interesting if we can get something nationwide going. That's almost a month. What's the date today? The 29th? Yeah.
It's 16 days.
In a couple weeks. And a couple days. So that'd be neat if we could do something nationwide. I don't know. Is this your the NRA sister branch doing it?
No.
The Illinois branch?
This is Matt doing it, I think.
Who?
Matt.
I didn't hear you. Broke up.
This
Really?
Is Matt doing it.
Oh, fucking A. So it is going to be a nationwide fucking thing then.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I got to get ready for that then.
I hope people can show up. I mean,
it was the weekend after Tulsa, so I don't mean people got a week. They're probably going to get back to their regular lives and all that within that week, so I'm pretty sure it's doable.
how many's going to have gas money a week after Tulsa?
Yeah, right.
I will. Yeah. I'm driving my wife's hybrid. It gets 50 miles to the gallon, so I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be rolling up in a little chick car, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, hey, that's pre-planning right there.
It's just so we can save money to buy more stuff at the show. That's all. Sometimes you got to take one for the team,
Yeah, exactly.
We can use that little bastard as target practice.
You can answer to her when I bring it home. You know what? I'll probably get hailed on coming home anyway, so let's not.
I heard all you got to do is put books on the inside of the doors, and it's bulletproof. So it's just a food for thought.
I don't want to test that theory.
Yeah, I haven't either. So
I know that if you put sandbags on the inside of the door, it does not make it bulletproof.
Well, yeah, but the sandbag, because there's not enough girth in the sand. Like, there's not enough for it to fucking dissipate that bullet energy, because they got to flatten it out, ain't it? When you put the door back on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know the why to it, but they did that on Top Gear. Packed the doors with sandbags and shot right through it.
I seen them. They stacked up 3 different books. They were all hardcover, obviously, but they stacked up 3 different books. And then they put them on a stack of 3 in each side of the panel and lined up the entire panel except for where obviously the electronics would be at and that kind of shit. It worked, but it was on the internet, so who knows editing and all that, but it worked.
Yeah,
I still haven't had the balls to work up the balls to try it. So
I
believe
seen him
in it
take a
that-
freaking brand and shoot through a 16-inch fucking oak tree and the bucket of water that was hanging on the other side of it.
Well, yeah, I also remember a pair of people that shot an encyclopedia and a bullet didn't go through, and then the next encyclopedia that they shot, the bullet
Yeah.
went through. So
Is that the one where the kid got shot by his girlfriend or whatever?
yeah, well, yeah, and that was the thing
Yeah.
is that they tested it out first, and it didn't go
Yeah.
through. So that's why I was like, that it could be a fluke,
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't.
If I'm going to armor plate my vehicle, it's going to be with about 2 inches thick of steel.
Oh yeah, or at least like get them some Kevlar or something. They make sheets of Kevlar like that aren't just 10 by 12 or something like that.
Do you guys remember reading that story about the dude? This was about maybe 6 months ago. There was a guy that was in Iraq that had he armored up his BMW because he knew at some point him and his family would have to bail in the city they were living in. I don't know if he was Iran, Iraq, somewhere in the Mideast. And he got his family out, but apparently there was a thing on the radio that all these people were trapped in the hospital between two groups that were shooting at each other. So he went back in and did like 15 trips, and his car had like 30 bullet holes in it, and like everything got shot out. But he had all the glass replaced with bulletproof glass, and all the panels beefed up and stuff. And he, like the last trip when he got the last person out of there, I think somebody had finally hit the radiator. So when he got to his little checkpoint outside of town, the car finally quit running. But it was a BMW 740i, and he had it all armored up and stuff. It was on. There's a car website called Jalopnik that does pretty cool stories, and it was on there. Thinking, man, that's almost like movie grade material right there. But he would roll up in front of the hospital, and people would take shots at him, and they'd load patients in the car, and they'd drive them out of there and come back and do it again.
That's a ballsy motherfucker right
Yeah,
there.
and it's a 740i with like a camouflage hood. I'll see if I can find the story. It's a pretty cool story to hear about it. And he was
absolutely.
I think he was also a soldier, but I don't know if he was on the good guy side of whatever. But it's yeah, I gotta find that.
Yeah, and he's lucky that thing didn't break down in the field like in the
I
middle
know.
of crossfire.
Just right in the middle of town. Yeah.
That's a cool story, man. Yeah, you don't hear too many people willing to risk their lives for other people anymore.
And people are concerned about what's going on here. And by that, I mean people.
Yeah, no shit. I don't even think it's that bad in Chicago. I haven't been there in a few years, so I couldn't tell you that.
Okay, I found the story. I'll put the link in the intro in the chat.
Jimmy, didn't you go back to Chicago?
Yeah, but not to Chicago though. I went back to LaGrange.
Okay, well, close enough.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Chicago is distinctly specific in where you don't want to go, and that's the south side and slightly southwest.
Yeah, in or around where I used to live at. So one of the reasons why I moved.
It's like southwest downtown Chicago. What the hell?
What, LaGrange?
I find it exceptionally
like-
curious that all these protesters are conveniently not making mention that the guy in the Florida school thing should have been prevented from owning a gun, and the ball was dropped there. Same with the guy in the church in Texas, and probably the dude with Pulse, but I'm not 100% certain on that one. I know he was on the radar, but I don't know that he had done anything.
Oh, I heard a lot of Anti's views on the Texas guy. The only reason that old guy with the AR, whatever his name was, ran up on him is because the guy was running away, and he knew that he wouldn't shoot back. That's the Anti's view on that guy. So the Texas one is like falling on deaf ears. I'm curious as to why they haven't talked about the Maryland guy. They didn't talk about that motherfucker. Nobody's talking about him.
The thing I see, they're saying that he shot himself in the head. The cop didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I said, well, that's fine, but he didn't shoot himself in the head until the cop confronted him. So.
Oh, was the guy a cop? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a cop.
Now, don't forget though, Tony, down in Florida at that school, they had that policy in place where the law enforcement was supposed to look the other way for minor offenses, so kids could bully and beat each other up and probably get busted with drugs and weapons on campus and not get anything more than, say, a detention or maybe a day or two of suspension. That doesn't help a situation when you let the inmates run the asylum,
Yeah.
But I mean, flat out, the FBI had more than enough cause to step in to talk to this dude. And they didn't.
Yeah, and then let it go on about your way. Go on, little guy. Get out of here.
They really want these things to happen for a nefarious reason or not,
Oh, yeah.
If nefarious is gun control, I don't know. I don't know.
Before they can rule us completely, they have to disarm us. So.
I know the Columbine kid, we had the size of his shirt and shit. It was pretty much the same thing with the Orlando guy too. That's more to get more modern, we Sandy Hook. That was 5 years, what is it? 5-something years ago, something like that. 2012.
I still hate that I believe my government is even capable of that shit.
Yeah, me too. But but my opinion has changed over the years, though. You see them getting more and more blatant with their corruption, dude. They're just like coming out there and open,
And they're so quick to lie on camera too. I mean, it's amazing how often the lying happens, and then finally at the end when the trial's going on, or after they get all this public scrutiny, then all these people come out and admit their wrongdoing. Where I would have more respect for you if you would just simply come out and admit that you did something wrong in the first place. Instead, you say, "Nope, I didn't do it. Wasn't me. Wasn't there." And then there's the video footage comes out of you there. The arrest record comes out with you being there.
Well, yeah.
I'm saying in general, I notice that so much. Whether it's people in Hollywood or politicians, it's pretty sad actually.
Yeah, well, in politics, I mean, it's they're pretty much they all correlate in my mind. But
yeah.
But politics, it's kind of funny how you notice when people die, that's when their scandal and corruption comes out. Like even with the Kennedy papers, and all that shit. Like it's just I don't know. It's yeah. So give it about 30 more years. Wait until everybody from around now is dead, and we might know what happened, what really happened.
Yep.
But
hey, guys,
I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say I got to go ahead and bail out for a little while, but man, I appreciate you guys letting me join in here for a bit. I had a good time. I had to keep working on some stuff around the house here, but I'll be listening to you guys. So yeah, appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I'll. What's that, Tony?
So I'll see you Saturday if you do.
Yeah. We'll just do a quick 1 hour show. We got family coming out for Easter, so I got to get stuff done around the house, but. No, it'll be cool. We should be able to make it work for at least an hour, so it's all good. I'll send you guys all invites.
Cool,
man. All right, you guys all take care. Have a good day, all right?
Cool, later. You do the same, man.
All right, take care. Bye.
But it makes me queasy to my stomach to think that my government's possibly capable of this sort of shit.
You shouldn't. Because you should always be wary and distrustful of your government. I'm not saying, never trust the government. It's just don't trust it all the time, every time.
The government ain't the government either anymore. I mean, it's really not. You got to look at a bunch of stuff. There's some people that are even looking into possibly the Federal Reserve running every fucking thing. So, and the Federal Reserve, we all know that name is not true. It's nothing federal about it.
Right.
I do know that you're starting to see articles on the pending recession.
Yeah. Which is just more panic shit.
Exactly.
Let's make them panic about the gun shit. Let's make them panic about the fucking economy.
Because Trump put money in people's pockets. People who work.
Yeah.
you know, they've got to do their damnedest to destroy this fucking economy, because if it gets better, they know Trump stands a better chance of getting reelected.
Yeah, which he said he was going to run too. So
I mean, if we
Yeah.
have a booming economy at election time, he'll get back in.
oh yeah, for sure. If he's making people money, all the other shit's going to fall to the wayside.
Yeah, and they cannot allow that to happen if they can do anything to avoid it.
All right, Jimmy, it's
Yeah.
11. Did you want to end early, or you want to keep going?
I think we're gonna kill it because I was just looking at the news, man, and it's pretty fucking depressing. And I'm gonna take a shower and go eat something and start my day before I fucking go to work.
Why is it that at the end of these shows everybody wants to take a fucking shower?
I'm telling you, man, I feel filthy after reading some of these
because-
news articles.
It's because the slime coming off the Democrats gets onto these articles, and when we read these articles, it gets onto us. So we have to take a shower to get the shit off of us.
I tell you what, that article about the kid with the crossbow is the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever read.
No,
Posing
Really?
it as news.
really fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, where in the fuck in your mind is a crossbow an arsenal? So what? He had bullets. He didn't have a fucking gun to put him in.
The liberal wet dream.
God, it's just it's really baffling. I don't know if it's because I'm high or what.
I don't know either.
You need a 7-second delay so we could bleep Tony and shit. Bleep.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Like we censor any fucking thing we say here.
Yeah.
We censored Jimmy. What the hell? Jimmy's the one needing a filter. Jesus.
You know, I felt something
There are-
moving around down there, so I looked.
Oh boy. Just what we didn't need. All right, Jimmy.
Yeah. All right. So everybody, real quick, before we wrap up, I've been doing this, so I'm going to continue doing it right now. Want to be a part of the Early Watch Nation, kind of grassroots organization, no money, no nothing, just be involved, sharing information. It's as easy as making the Gmail, Early Watch, your state abbreviation at gmail.com. We're trying to get a few of them knocked out beforehand. We are working on a website, so anybody who wants to be a part of that, feel free. If there's already one in your state, just contact that Gmail. They'll tell you how you can help out. And yeah, thanks to everybody that's participated so far. A lot of effort, a lot of work has been put in. So keep up the good stuff, and we will talk to you tomorrow probably.
All right. Good day, everybody.
Should not be infringed.